Speak it up, holding on. Trigger, you've done it, you champion. Speak it up, wins. Goes to the lead. John's going to take out the Dudley Justice. And that's Mr. Ali. It could be. He's fighting back. Oh, look at him. Speak it up, does it.
Welcome to Mobile Rolling, Series 3, Episode 4. Happy New Year to all of our viewers, Jimmy, and welcome back, mate.
Yeah, we've had the Christmas break and New Year's break. Let's hope everyone had a great New Year's and Christmas. But yeah, looking forward to this year. There's going to be plenty of changes. I've got to say that I went to Mount Gambier Trots Tuesday night.
Yes.
And when I arrived there to set up, and I was working obviously for Tabcorp and Sky Channel, but Nathan Walsh, who works for John Rothy Video, said to me, he said, Jimmy, I need to take some photographs of your equipment. So he did that to send to Sky Channel. So what is going to happen now, the next Mount Gambier meeting is on the 17th, which is a Friday.
Right.
They will be setting up to do remote commentary for Mount Gambier harness racing. So they've already started it with the greyhounds.
Yeah.
It's something that's been going on for at least 6 months at the greyhounds, where they have now got a system in place where they have direct video feed to French's Forest, which is the New South Wales offices of Sky Channel, and the guys commentate off the monitor there in Sydney for the Mount Gambier Greyhounds. Now the Mount Gambier Greyhounds, they race every Sunday and I think every second Thursday. So they have nearly 100.
They don't need an SA caller anymore.
No. So they have nearly 100 meetings a year at Mount Gambier for the Greyhounds, and now they're going to implement that with the harness racing side of things, or at least try to. I think harness racing will be more difficult to call off the television than what greyhound racing will be. So it'll be interesting.
What meetings are they talking about?
Mount Gambier.
Just Mount Gambier
at this
only?
stage, yeah. Because logistically, it's really painful for us South Australian commentators to get to Mount Gambier. Like my wife Priscilla, she refuses me to drive unless I have to, so she wants me to fly. So to give you an idea, the cup meeting they've got at Mount Gambier on the 1st of February. I leave home Saturday morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, which is the 1st of Feb. I get the flight from Adelaide Airport to Mount Gambier. So I lob at Mount Gambier about 10 o'clock in the morning. I can't check into my accommodation until 2 o'clock, so I've got to kill 4 hours before I can check into the accommodation. Then I check in, go to the trots, call the trots Saturday night, check out 10, maybe 11 o'clock. I might be able to stretch it at 11 o'clock in the morning. But there's no flights back until leaving after 5 o'clock that afternoon. So I've got to kill all of Sunday to fly back, to get back to Adelaide. And I'll get back home, if I go straight home from the airport, about 7:30 at night. So it virtually takes 2 days to call one meeting. So logistically, it's painful. And of course, there's expense to Sky Channel as well. There's the accommodation, the flights, which is pretty close to around $1,000 that they work on per meeting. So even though there's only 10 harness racing meetings at Mount Gambier per year, they're going to set that up for the harness side of things as well. So there's something that's changing. So modern technology is making it change. And I think they do it with French and European racing. I think they have the same sort of system where the commentators call from the English studios.
I knew that was right, and they do that because they don't want obviously the foreign language coming into their lounge room. So we get these English accents and whatever coming through our TV screens, but they're not even there.
So at this stage, they're concentrating. They reckon. So the next meeting on the 17th, I'll be there because my flights and accommodation are already booked, and I'll commentate a couple of races, and then they'll try and do a couple from the studio. But they will be reliant on the cameraman doing his job properly. So if you can imagine a standing start race where there's 70-metre handicap like we had Monday at Globe Derby, where Elvis had to start 70 metres off. He wouldn't be in the screen at all. So the guy commentating wouldn't even see that. And if the cameraman had to pan out to get them all, they'd be like ants. He wouldn't be able to pick up the colours. So they've got to fine-tune the cameraman to do his work as well to make it easy. I mean, I've called off the monitor with the Tour Down Under when I called the cycling, and I can only give the people the information as good as what the cameraman does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what they're going to have to rely on here. So there's a little project. I know that they're also looking at remote areas in Queensland, the Bundaberg Greyhounds. They're looking at setting up the same system there as well. So that's and it's to cut costs, which is understandable, but yeah, also it will change the complexion of what we've known over the years of having a commentator live on track. Yeah. So there's a little bit for you.
It is. So before you retire,
yes,
you may be calling a Port Pirie meeting on the 110 centimetre screen at your home in Burnside and not having to travel.
They'll call it from French's Forest, yeah. So we'll see what happens there. They may set it up, yeah, they may possibly, but there's not much expense to go to Port Pirie because it's just drive there and drive back. So it's probably not worth the expense of the equipment to do a Port Pirie, but we'll see what develops. And whether they do it with thoroughbred racing as well is another question.
That'd be interesting, yeah. I'm sure it'll happen.
So that's something there. So look, we've got Port Pirie Friday night, which we'll talk about in the punters section later on. Globe Derby Saturday. There's no harness meeting Monday at Globe Derby, so we've got that time off. And then we go to Mount Gambier on Friday, the 17th of January, and that's where they'll start to implement this remote commentary. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, see what happens.
Look forward to it.
Yeah. Right, what else?
Anything else in your controversy corner, mate? I went to the first Victor meeting for the year. That was a funny day, wasn't it? Because the weather looked like changing, and there was the normal chorus of too hot to go. Why doesn't someone tell us? Why don't they cancel it? Why don't they put it this date? And you know, before you knew it, there was a whole bunch of scratchings, and the meeting was a little bit poor in terms in numbers, and made it hard to have a decent bet if you wanted to. And as a spectacle, 4-horse races just aren't great to watch.
I know the committee were disappointed.
Yeah, so that was a bit disappointing, but it's still good to be at Victor. I like going down there. It's a nice environment to be in. I went to the first Kapunda one as well. That was a stinker.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. You were up in your little cubicle.
We caught up
with your feet in a bucket of water.
Warm and dusty and dirty, but anyway. But
it was good racing though. I enjoyed Kapunda. It was
Look, I really do believe that there's an area for half-mile tracks. I think it's more entertaining racing because drivers have to make a move to put their horses into the race. And I've always said this, I believe that Gloucester Park has the best entertainment of racing, watching, if you just wanted to watch a race for entertainment. And Wavell was the same, it was entertaining because people have to make a move to get their horse into the race, you know.
Right.
The bigger tracks are just happy to follow each other, it's a bit blasé, a little bit boring, and just come with a late run, you know what I mean? But I always felt that there is an avenue for half-mile racing, I always have thought that. Getting back to Victor Harbour, it was a bit unusual because when I left home, it was 38 degrees. When I got there, it was 24 degrees or 22 degrees. Yeah. And it's only an hour and a half drive to get to Victor Harbour. And that's the difference,
we did the
you know
same.
what I mean?
It was dropping
and a lot of trainers, I could understand why they scratched their horses because they were worried about the heat and the travelling for their horses. But honestly, it probably could have been okay. But you don't know that at the time. Yeah.
No.
All right. We're going to have Mark Billinger after the break. I've got a question for all the brain waves, okay? Yes. And some are going to be scratching their head here. What year did Mark Billinger drive the Inter-Dominion winner? We'll take a break.
Wow.
Welcome to the British Workmen's Club, where we've had star performers here. Jerry and the Pacemakers, Del Shannon, some of the greats of years gone by. But nowadays, they have plenty of great bands performing here. Every weekend, a host of Adelaide's top bands perform. The Party Cats, led by Masters Apprentice legend Peter Tilbrook. We all know Peter. And the Lincolns are here, Chunky Custard, plus a host of South Australia's up-and-coming bands. Right behind me, you can see the fully stocked bar, plenty of drinks to be had, a great location for a great night out at Davis Street, Wingfield, just off Grand Junction Road. Come to the British Workingmen's Club. Welcome back to Mobile Rolling. And Rocky, we threw out a question on about our next guest, Mark Billinger. Mark, welcome to the show.
Hi, Jimmy.
But the question was, what year did Mark Billinger drive the winner of the Inter-Dominion?
Yep. And
there'll be all the smarty pants out there. He didn't drive an Inter-Dominion winner, blah, 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 blah. But he did. He did in the ponies. His pony was called Popular Babe, and in 1985, I think it was, Mark?
Correct. Yeah, correct.
1985, he went to Moody Valley, the same year that Pro Chevalier won the Pacers in the Dominion.
Yeah.
I can't remember who won the Trotters in the Dominion, but he drove Popular Babe to win the Pony Inter Dominion at Moody Valley. It was a big crowd there, Mark.
Yeah, big thrill. Probably over 100,000 at the time, and
good.
yeah, no, I still remember it like yesterday.
1985. How old were you then?
I would have been 12 or 13, yeah.
Really? And of course, later on in the program, we've got the Kittel team coming on to talk about pony races as well. So a big show about pony racing, what we've got here. But Mark's back. You're back in the sulky. You're feeling good about already driven a winner, so you're happy. Things are rolling along.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty excited to be back, and yeah, hopefully I've got a few more years left in the sulky.
Don't be scared to show a bit more emotion, Mark. Now, Rocky, I was at Mount Gambier Trots on Tuesday night, got home to the room, had an hour to kill, so I thought, I'll just do a bit of research on this guy, some of the achievements. It took too long. I wish I didn't do it now. So you've had good success in your career, Mark. I come up with 7 Southern Cross 2-year-old final winners and 6 3-year-old Southern Cross final winners. So it's been a pretty good run for you.
Yeah, it has. And before that, I probably had 2 or 3 4-year-old Southern Cross finals too. So it's been a great race for me over the years, and had a lot of good support through different trainers, which had great juvenile horses.
Well, a lot of those were for your dad, Val Billinger, right? A lot of those for Emma Stewart as well. How did you get the connection with Emma Stewart?
Yeah, it was worked out one time that David was driving for him, David Harding, and he didn't want to go down to Mount Gambier. So yeah, he recommended me, and I went down there and drove 3 winners for him. One of them was actually Major Secret, who's a nice horse.
Secret, he's clear by 10 or 15, running in a second, is always want to know, trying hard, but it's all Major Secret, roaring away, wins by 27 metres on the line. Second home was always one of...
And from then on, continued on. So
well, you've just come back. You had a week over there just recently as well with Emma and Clayton. How was that, mate?
Yeah, great. It's a good experience, and see how they operate. They had, I think, about 102 in work at that time. And
so how many staff?
Oh, they'd have to be at least 20.
102 horses in work?
Yeah. So no, they're very professional. They're both switched on, and there's credit to them. They deserve everything they get.
Yeah. So you went over there and drove for them, obviously, and was it as simple as go out, do the fast work, come back, get off, jump on another one that was ready, or?
Pretty much. Yeah. They have designated people that harness horses up, finish them off, and then you have your drivers and even your track works and your joggers.
Yeah.
So,
what do you reckon? What are to you? We spoke about Popular Babe, how that was a big thrill for you, but with the Standardbreds, what have been your biggest thrills so far in harness racing as far as wins are concerned?
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Mildura Cup would be up there,
that was up there. Oka Nevada that time, that was a great thrill.
Oka Nevada moves up alongside South Australian's best pacer. Oka Nevada hit the lead and wins the cup. Oka Nevada from Let's Let.
Driving into Dominion, that was another one. Yeah. I wasn't very successful. Friends for Life up in, I think it was 2001 up in Queensland. But yeah, it's pretty hard to sort of tell which ones, but yeah, every win's a win, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
When did Bag Limit go over to Vidi? What year was that?
Oh, that's before my time. That would have been in the early 80s.
Early 80s?
The early 80s, yeah.
That was the first time I really took notice of Dad, I reckon, was when Bag Limit went over. He was a nice horse here, just one of those, looks like a thoroughbred type horse, it's just a beauty. And I just thought, who's this Val Billinger? Is it a male or is it a female for a start?
Yeah.
And
definitely a bloke.
Yeah.
I've seen him.
And then to watch it go over with Vinny and just, take over, really, it was a beautiful horse.
No, it was a nice horse, for sure.
Speaking of Dad, since his passing, that's probably given you a different change of avenue about the harness racing. Is it a matter of keeping the Billinger name going under Dad's profile, or what are you thinking in that area, Mark?
Oh, I really enjoyed the involvement with him, in training the horses. Unfortunately, he passed, so now I just really want to concentrate on the driving side. And my future's just sort of helping a few people. I help Aaron Bain out a couple of mornings a week, and I do a little bit of track work for a few other trainers here and there, and I quite enjoy helping people and driving. And I'll be trying to do some travelling a little bit if I can get some drives all around. So we'll see how we go.
You're overseas more than you're here, aren't you, mate?
Oh, travelling that way. No, I mean driving.
You mean driving, travelling?
Yeah.
All right.
What about some of your wins interstate? What are some of the major wins that, I mean, as Uncork you took to Harold Park as a young horse. Did she win?
No, unfortunately she got beat a lip in the pink bonnet. Yeah. And that was a great thrill to take a little filly like that over there, and my first drive at Harold Park. Yeah. And just get beat. And lucky enough I've won a race at Menangle, won a Joe Buttergigs, back in 2014, won a race there. Won a few at Moonee Valley, so that was a great thrill. It was a great atmosphere, Moonee Valley. You don't get that now with the modern tracks, where Moonee Valley, you knew you were somewhere special when you drove at that track.
It's a bit like when we had Ryan on. Wavell was the only place that he said that he's ever driven there where there's been atmosphere, you know what I mean? And obviously Moonee Valley was a bigger track, but it had that amphitheatre type setup where with the good crowd, you get that amazing excitement through the crowd, the electric feeling.
Yeah, too right.
Yeah. And it makes a difference to the drivers as well, isn't it? Like if you've got that electric feeling, it makes you just perform that little bit better as well.
Yeah, it's just, it's exciting when, you go underneath the grandstand when you went to Moonee Valley, even though there was probably not many people watching you. It just felt like you're somewhere special. Yeah.
Going into the Coliseum.
Yeah.
Mate, when you got your disqualification, it must have been a kick in the guts for a start, but you went overseas and spent probably more of the 3 years overseas than what you did here.
Correct.
And I've been talking to you recently about that because you're doing a fair bit of work with Aaron, and it wasn't on your mind for a while, was it, to come back and get back into harness racing, and all of a sudden it just hit you again? You watched them on TV and thought, actually, I want to go home.
Yeah, well, as I said, Dad passed, and then I got in trouble, so I decided to go overseas and just retire really and see how I go over there. But after about 12 months I bought into a business over there which didn't really take off as I hoped. And I started watching the trots back on my TV. I bought a little TV box which I could get everything, and started to miss it. And after that, as soon as I could get my licence back, I was back.
Yeah, well, it's been great, Jimmy, to get him back into the fold. We haven't got a fantastic list of drivers anymore that we can say there's our top
upper echelon ones.
Yeah, there's our top 15. We don't go that deep, and to get Mark back in, who I remembered as just having really soft hands and patience that most of them haven't got when their horse is travelling well, and to watch him even now that he's come back, he hasn't been on the best horses, but he knows where to put them and he knows when to go. And I know from experience with Aaron, with Mark helping out there, he just said it's a breath of fresh air. He can talk to Mark about the horse, he knows how they're all going, he gives his opinion, and he's getting to sit behind horses that we think are okay, but to get his opinion on them as well is really important to us. So that association with Aaron and Mark is now really, really important for us. Yeah. And it's simply because he knows the horses so bloody well.
I think it was evident with your win with Miss Iconic, the patient drive with her to come at the last minute and get up, which is good. Mark, I want to touch back a little bit to what Rocky said about your disqualification, and it's up to you if you want to answer this or not. But we've found out since that this cobalt issue is possibly a bit unfair on the people that have been disqualified. I mean, in particular with the racing side of things, they've suggested that maybe the cobalt is not a performance enhancing product that they initially thought. Do you feel a bit ripped off about that, getting the disqualification with what they've found out since then?
I just, I think probably 3 years was a little bit too much. It is what it is, and I'm moving forward, and cobalt, I didn't even know what it was, and now realising it's all in the products you buy from a Hopkins saddlery or just your normal fodder store, and it can build up in the system over time. Well, we weren't educated prior to getting my positive swabs, and in hindsight, it'd been a different thing.
I think you're right with it. Just not to harp on the issue, but 3 years is probably the harshest penalty I've seen. To me, it was like taking a jackhammer to an acorn.
Yeah.
And, 3 years was just too long for me. Yes, you can have your reasons why it happened, and unfortunately, if you break the rules, you're going to get some kind of time, well, you should.
Yeah.
But not 3 years. I just thought it was too long to have one of our, doesn't matter whether they're stars or not, but he was one of the stars, and to explain the circumstances, I just reckon it was a bit hard.
Yeah. So, but just roll on. We're going back to driving winners.
Yeah.
Forget the past.
Yeah.
As far as that is concerned, remember the past about the. I just want to run through some of these horses just to bring you some memories. The Golden Nursery, Our Celebrity, Aspiring Artist, a couple of 2-year-old wins there. Sapling Stakes, Aspiring Artist, Uncorked back in 1994, and she was really the foundation of your whole team that your dad and even your brother Darren went on to. Southern Cross, Our Celebrity, a rap artist, and Rock and Roll Magic. He probably made history, only person ever to drive 2 winners at the Southern Cross final at Port Pirie, because that was the year when Port Pirie and Globe Derby had the blue, I suppose, or Harness Racing SA had the blue. So Rap Artist in 2015 and Rock and Roll Magic, they both won. You won both finals at Port Pirie. So
3 actually. There was another one.
Was
a 3-year-old. I can't remember what it was. Of Emma Stewart's won the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go. So no one will break that. Aspiring Artist, Johnny and Dry for John Kingston Main. We spoke about Ahoka Nevada. I mean, Kingston Main had a big season around the 2011 time when he had all the Tricassi horses over here, and he got 100 winners as a trainer in a season, which he'd never done before, and it was a good season for you as well.
Yep.
For your dad, same action back in 2007, and he's a corker back in 2002. And of course, we spoke about John Kingston May. Glenn Gowan, your only ever Derby winner, and he won the St Ledger the week before. I've still got the St Ledger Cup at home, which my wife uses where she works.
Hit you on the head with.
Sam Tricassi didn't want to take it home, so he said, look, we'll take the Derby trophy home, you can keep the St Ledger. So I've got the St Ledger trophy at home.
Oh, beauty.
Glenn Gowan. Sacred Art for Jimmy Hurley, won the Size Produce.
Yeah.
Lord Lincoln for Joe Buttergeek. Was that the horse that you went to Menangle and won with? Yeah, correct, Lord Lincoln. Franco Croupier for your dad, won the Size Produce, and Franco Concord.
Nice.
And then the Size Stakes for 3-year-olds. Rock and Roll Magic for Emma, Love List for Emma, Saved a Corker, He's a Corker, Law for George Gilbert, and Pacific Wonder back in 1991. I think was probably your first ever Southern Cross winner, wasn't it?
It was. It was a great thrill. 40-1, and Brosser Baron led.
Yeah.
And top of the straight, I was 4 back the fence. Brosser Baron galloped, and they went everywhere, and I went in between them.
He looked beautiful. We'll take this.
It was good thrill, that one.
There you go, Bradbury Billinger. So there were just some of the horses that can remind you of your big wins.
Yeah.
Not big in the trotters. V Salute, Don Lee, super trainer.
Yeah.
Mark was lucky enough to get the drive with V Salute winning the Grimmel Trotters Cup on that occasion. No doubt John would have been pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
There we go, some good memories.
He's got, from what I'm hearing, mate, he's got no time to get back into training. He can just afford the time for driving, because when he gets out of bed, he's got to have his breakfast, start counting his money, get off to the gym in the afternoon, and come back and it's BBL time. So that's his days covered at the minute. But counting the money takes the longest time.
Love and life, eh?
I spend enough, don't worry.
Good on you, Mark. Good to have you on the show.
Well done, mate.
Good luck driving back. You've already got a winner. That's good. We knew you would. And the perfect Billinger style, just patient, late.
Lovely.
Sticks that nose in front, and made the Cavallaro team and their owners are very happy with Miss Iconic.
Yep.
All right, that's Mark Billinger. And look, we're going to take a break, and we'll come back, and Jacques Bashara with the betting side of things will be firing up.
Just Wrecking Toyota, South Terrace Wingfield, for all your recycled and reconditioned parts. Our huge range covers almost every model in the vast Toyota stable. Proudly South Australian with over 25 years in the automotive recycling industry. So, if you want to save some serious money on anything Toyota, call us on 8359 4499 for fast and friendly service.
Welcome back to Mobile Rolling. It's betting time. Jacques Bashara. Happy New Year, Jack. Welcome back.
Happy New Year, Jack.
Happy Rocky.
All right, now listen, here's the update. We've only had one session so far as the betting is concerned.
Any point doing it?
Yes, we're going to do it.
Why
because I'm in front. Now, episode 3, Jack, you had $20 to win on I Wanna Rock and Roll. She finished 5th, so no points, minus $20. You had $10 each way, Big Behemoth. 7th, no points, minus $20. So the champ from last season is running last after race 1. 0 points, minus $40 in the bank. Rocky, you've got him covered.
Selling donuts, Jack.
Emain Macca.
Early days.
$20 the win at $1.20. Gives you 3 points. $4 profit. Better than the loss. Never go broke making a profit. Alexander Greenwood, bit ambitious. 10 each way, finished 9th. 0 points, minus $20. So the total points after episode 3, Rocky, you're on 3 points. So you've got a 3-point advantage on Jack already. And your total bank after episode 3, minus $16. Okay, Jack's on minus 40. Don't forget, $10, 1 point bonus.
Yep.
Muggins, Jimmy Jakes, went for Ghent, $20 a win, $6, good tip, 3 points, $100 profit.
Yep.
Better Vision, not so good a tip, 10 each way, 6th, no points, minus $20. So after episode 3, I'm on 3 points, but my bank total after episode 3 is plus $100. So I'm leading the way.
Very good, mate.
But let's remind our viewers that this season, I'm a charge now because this season is cut short because we had the Christmas break and we haven't had a bet every time, but we're going to go all the way through to the finish.
Yep.
I'm assuming we've got 12 episodes this season. Thank you, Max. So we are now up to you, Jack. What are we going to do for the weekend? Now, we've got harness racing Friday night at Port Pirie and Saturday night at Globe Derby. Which way are you going?
I'll go Globe Derby.
Right.
I'll go my straight out bet.
Yes.
On race 2, number 6, Colonia ARTY.
Yes, good run last start, wasn't it?
Held up late, got home nice.
Yep. ARTY's got a good kick, still 2 metres in front. Let's go there, running out of time. Colonia ARTY in front, though, will lead all of the way. Well, Colonia ARTY beat Let's Go there. Classic Reactor 3rd, Dallas Eldon 4th, then Calgary Bay and Iraq Bell. Last quarter 30.2, the half 59.5, mile rate 21.8. Colonia ARTY, who was the outsider of the field at $30.90 and $9.40, has led throughout to win for trainer-driver Luke Watson. Let's Go there in second spot, tried hard after racing without cover. And Classic Reactor, after trailing the leader, will be in third position. Colonia ARTY striking trouble on debut and doing everything right from the pole position tonight. It's been able to lead all of the way.
I thought it had a real chance. Could possibly be the leader.
End up, Jack?
Pardon?
Might go forward again. Try and press forward.
It might do.
Danny tried to go forward the other day, but there was too much speed underneath. She ended up going back.
She came out with them.
Yep.
So I don't know. She might get across.
Okay.
Now each way, I'll go in the 4th race.
Race 4
with number. Where are we? With number 5, Villa Boy.
Okay, each way.
12 barrier last start.
Yep.
Got to the line very good, was looking for a run.
Yep.
Needs a bit of luck early, but it'll be good value.
Yep.
So each way, Villa Boy.
Okay, so race 2, number 6, Colonia ARTY, $20 a win.
Yep.
Race 4, number 5, Villa Boy,
each way.
$10 each way.
Yep.
Rocky, what are you doing, Port Pirie or Globe Derby?
No, I'm going to Port Pirie this week, mate.
Yep.
I think the Globe meeting is too many what-ifs this week. You know, Sir Raymond, you think, should bounce back, but that last run was awful. So
below par.
Scratched it, and then racing again this week. It's always going to be drawn wide. Should win, but you know, I'm not confident there.
Not over the line.
Macca should win, but it's coming from 7 again. It's travelling all the time, and it's been up a while already.
Yep.
And you'd think Kittel could win the trot, but you're
Gallop for no reason.
You'd want $3 to get away at this stage, the way it's going. But if it trots all the way, it would win. So I thought, no, I'm not going there. I'm going to Pirie on Friday night.
Okay, what do we got?
I think I'm Lonely's improved a heap since it's gone to Wayland Horthart.
Wasn't it?
It was a good bet, $7. I thought that was terrific.
You missed the 11, did you? Okay.
Yeah, I missed the 11s.
Right.
But he raced in the Christmas Cup and he dropped out at the 600, if you remember. It looked like he was going to run 70 metres last. And he grabbed hold of the bit again and finished 13 metres from that quality of horse, and you know, they wouldn't get within 30 metres of this crowd on Friday night. So I'm going straight out on I'm Lonely.
$20 a win, I'm Lonely, yep.
Yep.
Corey O'Donoghue on the inside, Matt Cruiser. I'm Lonely still in front though. I'm Lonely in front. I'm Lonely's home. I'm Lonely too good. Second placing, very tight. Matt Cruiser or Futurist.
And my each way bet is another horse that can't do a lot of work in its races, but it's drawn to scones the fence or a good run. It's hitting the line really well. I thought its run at Kapunda 2 starts ago when it ran 4th was good. Monday ran a good third behind Miss Iconic and Eddie, so I'm happy to go with $10 each way on Falcon's Beauty.
Falcon's Beauty, okay. All right, so 10 each way on Falcon's Beauty on her. All right.
Right, yep. Jim.
Okay, so I'm going to go, let's see, my straight out bet. I'm going to be adventurous, but I think the horse is ready to win. It's risky because it's a standing start and it more than likely might gallop, but race 9, number 4, Winsome Ruby. I'm going to have my $20 to win on her.
Straight, the short price favourite's got nothing to offer at all one night out, and Missouri's got away in front, and another one for Wayne Hill. He's finished the meeting off with a bang. Missouri goes on to win by, I'd say, 15 metres. One night out.
She's galloped 3 of her last 4 starts, but I've got to say 2 of those times I don't think was her fault.
Yep.
The pace eased in front of her and she virtually ran into the back of the horse in front of her on 2 of those occasions. Yep. The other time at Kapunda, she galloped just after the start. She's back to a standing start, but I think if she trots away and does everything right, I think she'll go very close to winning.
Quick trotter.
Very close to winning. Race 9, number 4, Winsome Ruby. That's my $20 win bet.
Right.
My each way, I was potting this horse last week, but I think it can win this week. Race 2, number 4, Manly Mac. I think it's a really good chance of finding the lead. I'm going against Colonia ARTY, which Jacques has gone, and I think is a massive danger. Uncle Leo looks, he could be hard to beat as well, but he more than likely could gallop at the start. He's got a bad record.
I don't think he'll like barrier 1.
No.
Well, Aaron drove him in the Silk Plate. That was the last time he drew barrier 1. He galloped at the start, and usually he's slow away. So I think that
he'll go the front.
I think Manly Mac will get across the inside runners, and whether it can hold out at Colonia ARTY is a little question mark. Wayne might be happy to take the sit behind Danny, possibly.
Hope he does.
But I think Manly Mac each way is my each way bet. So race 9, number 4, Winsome Ruby to win, $20 a win. Race 2, number 4, Manly Mac on an each way basis.
Right.
And if Danny can't get across and she goes back, then Manly Mac's got a good chance of winning the race. But I think a definite place chance, especially if it clears the inside.
Well done, mate.
So that's what I've come up with.
That's fair enough.
All right.
So,
anything else in closing, Jack?
What else you been following, Jack?
I've been looking at a couple of horses for the future. I'm not sure whether they're in Friday night because I haven't done the form for Friday night. But there's a couple to follow. I believe the one I'm involved in, Rising High, I think Aaron said it's going really good. Looking forward to its first trial.
Okay.
Had one start and led, and Laura Crossland drove it.
Yep.
Just got beat. I was quite rapt with that, and then had a little setback and went out in the paddock. It's come back, and Aaron's pretty pleased with it. So I'm looking forward to it. Starting.
I think Mark's been driving a bit as well. So
very good.
When we finished, have a chat with.
Yeah, very good, very good.
All right.
But apart from that, no. Bit of disappointment last Saturday night. They said at Globe Derby, lack of food. Had trouble getting food.
Yes, that's
Is that
true.
correct?
Yeah. There was nothing.
All right, that's it. There's the siren. It's time to go. That's it for the betting. And thanks, Jack. And look, we're going to come back shortly. We're going to catch up with Jason and Brodie Kittel of the South Australian Harness Racing Pony Association participants.
See the boys down at Modry Battery Services. With over 40 years of experience in batteries,
stocking the largest range in supercharged batteries with more power, longest life and battery warranty. So specialising in auto electrical and aircon regas and repairs.
Welcome back to Mobile Rolling, and Rocky, we've got some very special guests. The Kittel team are here and we have got some superstars. We've got a gentleman that represented South Australia at the Inter-Dominion.
Over in New Zealand.
In New Zealand, yeah. Jason. And Brody down the end there, the young gun. The brains of the team, he told us.
Is that right?
That's what he told us. Now, we had Mark Billinger on earlier. And we spoke about the very special achievement of Mark Billinger with the Inter-Dominion trot. Now, Jason, New Zealand, what was it like?
Oh, it was a great experience. I loved it. Got to go down there for 10 days, got to drive a pony that was randomly selected out of a hat. His name was Tonto. It's a bit of a struggle, but it was a quick one. Had some good drives, had some fun.
Now, the history, this today's show is full of history, and it brings back my memory. Now, you may not know this, I don't know if Dad's told you this, right? But Simon, right, he drove the first ever mobile start winner in a pony race.
Really?
Grease Lightning. Now, back in those days, I think it was Grease Lightning one of the time. Yeah, Grease Lightning. Back in those days, my cousin Wayne was the president of the South Australian Harness Racing Pony Association. That's how I got the gig of commentating, a bit of favouritism, you see. And he purchased a mini moke, and he welded some arms on the back of the mini moke, and they used that as a mobile start. And the first ever race they had at Globe Derby, Dad drove the winner. So how about that? That's pretty good.
Did you tip it?
No, I didn't. And of course, Mum, Melanie, who was driving in pony races as well herself, Melanie Sill, right? Melanie was the first ever, I'm pretty right in saying this, I'll back myself, the first ever clerk of the course for pony races.
Serious?
Yeah, really hard to do. I mean, to catch a pony, you've got to go down like that, don't you?
I don't know it.
But yeah, Melanie was the first ever clerk of the course. And you are involved more heavily, I suppose, in riding horses, like Mum was with the clerk of the course. Have you got any aspirations of being a clerk of the course, or are you more equestrian?
Yeah, I think I'm more equestrian than clerk of the course. I don't think I'd be able to do that.
Yeah. I reckon he could. Yeah. There's big raps on this young man.
I'd never heard of him until this morning, mate, and the chorus of "He's a Beauty" from the people I rang, so I reckon he's...
Brody's the gun.
Going to have to deal with the pressure of being one of the best in SA, I'm hearing.
Yeah. So there you go. There's a lot of history about Mum and Dad through the pony races, their achievements many years ago. And yeah, really good. And gone on to the standardbreds.
Yep. And turned 16 in a week or so, is it, mate?
That's it, yeah.
So finished this season off in the ponies and then back up into the trials and then driving in races is the plan.
Yep.
Looking forward to that?
Oh, I'm keen. I'm really keen.
Keen as mustard?
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Now, New Zealand, great place. I love New Zealand. You went to the North Island where the racing was at Auckland. Did you happen to go to the South Island? You wouldn't have had that opportunity?
No, not in this trip. I didn't. I did the South Island, just stayed in Auckland. And yeah, it was really good.
So it was only you and Dad that went over?
Yeah.
So you had the pub crawl on the Tuesday with the old man, I'm hearing. And then you went off to have a look at a bit of sightseeing. Is that how it worked?
That's it, yeah. We love it.
Lovely country, New Zealand.
Yeah,
I love
beautiful.
It. Yeah. Snow-capped mountains, everything's green and lush, and it's a lucky country.
So what about the nights of driving, mate? Were they exciting for you?
Yeah, I loved it. They were really good. So the first night that I drove, I had 2 drives.
Okay.
In 3 heats, all together.
Yep.
And I had 2 of them on the first night, and I loved it. It was great. Like, the amount of new people I got to meet, the experience I've had, the amount I've learned was great.
Now, Tonto was a local pony that you got to drive. So I watched because they had the replays on the Kids Karts Facebook site, and I watched the replay. Little Tonto had a bit of trouble steering around the corners, didn't it? So was it a pony from the South Island that they'd go anti-clockwise, but going clockwise had troubles handling the turn, or was it a local North Island pony?
It was a North Island pony, and it was strong.
Yeah.
It was bloody strong. It was hard to, I had a bit of trouble pulling it up, but got there in the end.
Yeah. Now, Brody, you're only a little fella at the moment.
Yep.
How old?
I'm 11. I'm turning 12 in May.
So if you stay that kind of size, are you thinking that there might be a career as a jockey, or you're just interested in the equestrian side of it?
Just the equestrian.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And no interest in the harness racing part yet?
Maybe when I'm older I might think about it a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like sometimes I've jogged a couple horses for my dad, and yeah, that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
So Brody, with equestrian, there's certain disciplines that they have. What areas do you concentrate on most as far as equestrian is concerned? Because you, so I know you can do your laps and your trotting and all that sort of stuff. What sort of things do you do with equestrian?
Well, I just like jumping a lot.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I like jumping.
So doing the what do they call that? It's not hurdles, is it? It's what's the terminology for that they and you've got to get over the jumps within a certain time frame, and then you get time bonuses and stuff like that, don't you? Is that the type of thing you're talking
like if you knock over a pole, you get like a 5-second penalty.
Yep.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
So you okay getting the jumps?
Yeah.
How high are the jumps? Higher than you?
Sometimes I'm not up to jumping them yet. I'm only like learning a bit.
Yeah.
Because like I started with just a normal question, like just showing.
Yep.
And like with the jumping, I only just started.
Okay.
And I had a really fast horse, so I just jumped by myself. And like ran around, I'm trying to pull it up, and it's just going around by itself. And then afterwards, Mum's telling me, "Oh, you're going too fast. I can't pull it up." So yeah.
Tell Mum to buy some wheat bix for you guys, because you've got a little Tonto that can't pull up. You've got this equestrian one that's not pulling up as well. But yeah, the horses are very strong and powerful, aren't they? And you get to realise that when you drive or ride them, how powerful these animals are. And yeah, they can take control of you, so it's a matter of learning about keeping them under control. You know they've got more strength than you, but you still have to have that ability to have the nous to get them to relax and calm down. Yeah, that's the trick of being a perfect horseman. Yeah.
So who gave the advice over at In the Dominion? Was it just anybody that wandered through, or you had one particular person that spent time with you over the 2 weeks?
There's a lot of people. So most of it come from Dad.
Okay.
Dad was really helpful, always giving me tips, always telling me what I should do, what I shouldn't do.
Yep.
And there were a lot of people there, like anybody, just other parents, people who were working there, helping out, volunteering. They all were really helpful.
Fantastic.
All willing to give me a helping hand and give me some advice.
That's excellent.
So you drive at the pony trots. Who drives White Noise?
Me.
You do?
Yeah.
Little Miss Muffet, is that you?
Yep.
So you drive those respective ponies? Do you swap around at all, or you just stick to those one ponies each?
We stick to the same, but like when he has to go to work, sometimes I drive his.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's about it. That's the only time we change.
Okay. All right. And you enjoy the pony racing?
Yeah, it's quite fun.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Really good fun.
Yeah, excellent. All right, well, and you've got cousins as well that are out there in competition?
Yeah, we've got Madison and Jackson Seal, who are our cousins. They drive as well, so we're always helping out, always helping each other out, giving each other tips.
And competitive on game night?
Definitely.
They cut you no quarter. All out there to win.
Yeah. All right, mate.
That's it, Rocky.
That was terrific.
Yeah. Can we thank our special guests, Jason and Brody Kittel? Great supporters of harness racing. Just keep it going, guys, keep driving winners and keep riding winners. All right, that's it. We'll take a break. We'll come back with a close of today's show on Mobile Rolling. Welcome to the British Workmen's Club, where we've had star performers here. Jerry and the Pacemakers, Del Shannon, some of the greats of years gone by. But nowadays, they have plenty of great bands performing here. Every weekend, a host of Adelaide's top bands perform. The Party Cats, led by Masters Apprentice legend Peter Tilbrook. We all know Peter. And the Lincolns are here, Chunky Custard, plus a host of South Australia's up-and-coming bands. Right behind me, you can see the fully stocked bar, plenty of drinks to be had, a great location for a great night out at Davis Street, Wingfield, just off Grand Junction Road. Come to the British Workingmen's Club.
Welcome back to our closing of Mobile Rolling. Jimmy, we just had the Kittel boys on. That was a bit of fun.
Yeah, Brody and Jason. Yeah, a bit of history there. It's been a pony racing history, like with Mark Billinger winning the In the Dominion and his pony drives, and Melanie and Simon that used to drive and their kids. So look, the ponies. Look, it's changed a lot. When I first started calling the pony races, it was 1984, 85.
Yep.
I reckon 90% of the kids that drove in ponies went on to drive the standard breds, you know? There's a lot. And we've had a lot of them here. Mark Billinger, Ryan Ryhorrick, Ryan Ryhorrick, David Harding, Matt Harding was there as well that used to drive. Justin Bruin, the list is that long, I can't remember. But a lot of those people went on to drive the standard breds.
Yep.
But now, I reckon it's lucky if it's 10% of the kids that drive at the ponies
Keep
go.
going.
Yeah. But you know, Jason said he's going to go, so that's good. We need a lot of young drivers. I mean, and I think it's been evident with the Silk Plate a couple of times. We've struggled to get young drivers. To fill the drives for the Silk Plate, you know, and that's going to be concerning for harness racing SA. It really does.
I think the NRS has helped a little bit there with the concession drivers. I think they're starting to get more and more drives. One of the races on, I think it's at Melton on Saturday night. There's 11 horse field and 10 of them are concession drivers. And I thought it looked like it was a concession drivers race. But it wasn't. Chris Alford's driving number 11. And I think Sam Pascoe and a few of the others are starting to get more drives, Brody Webster and those, simply because trainers want to take advantage of that claim, whether it's a 5, 4 or 3, whereas for the previous 10 years, they wouldn't get 2 drives a month. So it becomes a real part-time thing, and then all of a sudden the interest says, actually, I'm not that keen anymore. So hopefully the next crop coming through, we'll see that there are drivers there if they're okay.
Rocky, one thing I wanted to point it out, we spoke about what's happening at the start of the show about what's happening racing this week. But it's Cup time. We've had the new year. Victor Harbour start off on the 26th of January, Australia Day, with their Cup. So go to Victor Harbour. Mount Gambier have got their Cup on Saturday the 1st of Feb, which we spoke about earlier. Globe Derby, the South Australia Cup, on Saturday the 8th of Feb, so it's not that far away.
No, it's not.
So unless you're a harness follower, you probably don't realise that, but that's when the SA Cup is happening, on the 8th of February. The Strathalbyn Cup will be on Monday the 24th of February, so looking forward to that meeting there for them. We've got the Gawler Cup on the 8th of March, which is on a Sunday for the Gawler Cup. And the Kapunda Cup on in March as well, on Sunday the 22nd of March. And the Port Pirie Cup will be on Saturday the 28th of March. So there's some of your major cups. We go to April, and the Port Pirie people will be holding the Kadina Cup. So the Kadina Cup will be on Saturday the 11th of April. And there's our cups. So they'll be done and dusted by the time we get to April anyway. So that's about it as far as what I've got. Southern Cross Final will be on the 16th of May on a Saturday. So it's one of our major racing events as well.
Not long before the Allwood sale is up, mate. So a few things going on.
The catalogues will be coming out for the Allwood, I think, this week, if not tomorrow, next week, is what Gary Crocker told me the other night. He rang me up Tuesday when I was at Mount Gambier. He said the entries were closing today, possible catalogues out tomorrow. So that'll be pretty quick if they can do that. But maybe, I reckon next week for the catalogues for the sale. All right, mate, that's about all I've got.
All done.
Anything else for you?
No.
All right.
No, happy to go.
Okay.
Righto.
All right, so that was it. So season 3, episode 4 is now complete of Mobile Rolling.
Very well done, mate. Good on you, bud.
Next week.
See you next week.